Hello, everybody.
Yo, what's going on?
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the Anime Mystics podcast. I'm Roman.
I'm Steven Sonosuke-sama.
And I'm Sachiel.
Uh, well, this will be our first episode doing the new format, really, because last time was just introductions and, you know,
Expectations?
expectations for the year and what we're looking forward to watching and stuff, which we do every time.
Yes.
So this will be the first official episode dealing with the new format.
Yes.
But before that, we're doing our updates as usual.
Yes.
For me, I don't think I released the video yet. I have a unboxing coming out, where I brought up that once Princess Connect is released, I was going to start doing gameplay videos for that. From what I saw on Twitter, they're in maintenance now, so they're getting ready to release the game. I thought it wasn't coming out till March because that was a thing I saw everywhere.
Yeah, I think that they sped it up for some reason. That when Kita-shan put out his video, that's when I kind of was reading they sped it up because they saw that they had hit so many pre-registered, so they were like, "Why wait? Let's just do it." So they made the plunge. That was my understanding.
Okay, well, either way, I was really looking forward to the game anyway, so
Right.
now I don't have to wait as long.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'll probably release a video in a few days of me starting the game up and doing whatever free roles I get with the gems they give us and stuff like that, and going through the story. But yeah, it won't be the only game I'll do. I'm gonna probably do all the games I have on here, but like on my phone, because I did a bunch of gotcha rolls for all of them during New Year's about.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever games I release then, you'll probably see videos for.
Yes.
I think it was Destiny Child, FGO, Memoria Freeze, Illusion Connect, and I think there was one other one.
Azure Lane?
Yeah, Azure Lane. So it'll be those games. I tried doing an Azure Lane video, but I didn't have any fast builds, so I could just skip the amount of time it takes and just automatically do it. So I couldn't really do Azure Lane for the video, but I got a bunch now. I can do however many I want.
Yes.
And other than that, I have been working on finding a new web provider for the store, because Squarespace, as you all know, wouldn't allow me to accept pre-orders without charging you all up front. And I didn't like that, because, I mean, I don't even like doing that. Whenever I pre-order something, I want to make sure that I'm not getting charged right away. So why am I going to expect all of you to do it? I did end up finding one. 3D Cart, I think is what they're called. But yeah, they accept pre-orders without actually charging. They just take your information, and then whenever it's released, they'll charge your card or your PayPal or whatever it is you're trying to pay with.
Nice.
It is going to actually cost me a little more, but in order to get you all like a decent website, it's worth the money.
Yeah.
The website is actually already up. I'll leave a link to it. It's not 100% complete. I don't know why they didn't allow me to publish it when it was ready, and they just put it up as soon as I signed up, I guess. And it's just putting up all the edits I make along the way. But, you know, as long as it's there, you guys can still pre-order and stuff. The only shipping option right now is flat rate, which is like $25.
Yeah.
And that's for like your whole order. So that's pretty much it, though. Yeah, just the website and the gameplay videos.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Cool. I just have a brief one too. We just got the next viewing party, which is going to be Madoka. So it's going to be the Madoka third movie. because we're celebrating. Was it 10 year anniversary?
Yeah, 10 years.
And Roman loves Aoyuki, so we're gonna do his waifu right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm watching like 12 shows. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but and then school starts back up this week, so it'll be fun for the next 5 months. So we'll see. It's gonna be a giant marathon until Memorial Day weekend for me. So yeah, that's all I got.
Right. Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, Phantom is going this year. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Never say never. But I'm good. What you got?
Well, so for me, I just have a little update. So as far as shows are concerned, so I'm still watching the shows I was watching last week. So it's like Cells of Work Black and Scarlet Praetor. But I recently discovered a new show. And the interesting thing about this particular show is it's a original story. So it's not based on any previous IPs or manga or anything. And this premiered last Wednesday at the time of the recording of this podcast. It's called Wonder Egg Priority. So this show is produced by Aniplex, and the studio is Cloverworks. So you may know them for Promised Neverland and Darling in the Franxx. So this show is currently streaming on Funimation. It's actually a really interesting show. It's basically like it touches based on like kind of like the like mental health, like because the main character is essentially Hikikomori, and she ends up kind of like somewhat isekai, but not isekai, but it's also like slice of life, and it involves like her like going to this alternate world where she's trying to like bring back like her best friend. But yeah, like pretty much like I was saying, like the animation is really great. It's only the first episode so far, so it's starting to look pretty interesting. So because I'm still kind of on the fence on Scarlet Praetor, it's like on the second episode now. And then like for Cells of Work Black, it was pretty much like, oh, we're just gonna dump like 3 other episodes through this week. So that was kind of like fun trying to like marathon through those. So, so that's pretty much my update for today.
Are you watching regular Cells at Work too, or just Black?
I'm watching regular Cells at Work as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because my wife who came out, did you see her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go Mama Platelet.
Yep.
So, on the other hand, too, you got White Blood Cell too. So prime Hikasa Yoko.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, right on.
Yep.
You're the second person that brought up the Wonder Egg, and I was like, huh. And I saw it on, I want to say like Sankaku Complex. Even they wrote an article about it. And so I'm like, all right, something's going on with this show, so I might check it out.
Okay.
So yeah, I did see too about the Cloverworks, and I was like, well, they did the Ace Attorney anime and Babylonia, so at least they have a good reputation, they have a good resume, so yeah. I'll check it out. Why not?
Cool.
So
Yeah, I think I heard about that one too. I think I've seen some stuff on Facebook about it.
yeah. Apparently it's making the round. So watch, it's gonna be like number 4 on the weekly rankings next time, as a result of all of this.
Was it on there this week?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, because it was like on my anime list. I think the rating the last time I saw it was like an 8.45. That's pretty good, like for a debut show. That's like it's like an original story.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the top 10 here.
Yeah,
At least for this group.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Might be on one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, it'll probably, like I said, skyrocket and be like in top 3 or top 5 out of nowhere.
Yeah, because pretty much most of the hype is for final season of Attack on Titan. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we can finally finish boring Aaron's story.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in here is watching it, are we? I'm not watching it.
I'm not. I
I'm
haven't
not,
watched
but my
third
roommate
season.
is.
Okay. Did you play the 3DS game?
For
Oh, I haven't.
Attack on Titan. I did want to point out, I haven't mentioned this in the group or on Facebook, but so I'm a Spider, and I just want to remind you guys that obviously Spider is voiced by Aoyuki, but remember, Aoyuki was also the voice for Spider-Gwen, so this was already predetermined long before. Take with that information for what you will, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, so far, your Spider is a lot better than Madoka. So.
Oh, the hater over here! Look at this hater, man. I'm saying that Madoka wasn't even my favorite. Obviously, Kyoko was the best, and then Homu was the second best, if not also tied for the best. So, but I don't have anything against Madoka, but hater, man, this guy over here.
I don't know. She should have been a better character.
Yeah, this guy. All right.
Anyway.
So, the theme of today's episode is we're going to do the flashback arc. So, today's subject is going to be how did we all basically get started in the weeb field or the weeb world. And then, just, not the whole life story, but the TLDR, more or less.
Back when we were little weeblets.
Yes.
Yes.
We were baby platelets. And then we'll converge somewhere in the middle, and then we'll go from there. So Roman, go ahead, get us started. How did you get started into the weeb world?
I'm not exactly sure what age I was. I think I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. But mine basically started like just about everybody else's, Dragon Ball Z. But it was back with the Ocean dub, not with Funimation or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my cousin who told me about it, and I think he was spending the night one day, and we were watching it. And I got kind of hooked on it, because I think it was around the Vegeta fight when we picked up. And I forget what I was watching at the time, but it was definitely a lot more action than everything I was watching. Like, much different. Then from there, I think I watched Dragon Ball Z pretty much exclusively for maybe up until end of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I think all the way up until the end of high school, I was just watching Dragon Ball Z. And in between then, I switched from dub to sub, or I should say, dub to straight Japanese, no sub, to sub.
All right, Billy Badass over here.
Because, well, I remember I've told you this before. It was kind of like how you got out of Dragon Ball Z. They kept repeating arcs on Toonami, and it was like, I'm tired of watching Goku fight Ginyu like 10 times before they get to the next section. And then me and my cousin discovered it it was the international channel.
Yes.
Where they were showing Dragon Ball Z every Sunday, but it had no subtitles. It was just in Japanese.
Yeah.
But we didn't care. We're like, okay, it's a little further back than where we ended, but let's watch it.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just kept watching it every week until it was over. And I think when they started releasing the DVDs is when I started buying those. And I was still kind of watching the dub still, because, I didn't have an issue with dub really, until I accidentally turned the subtitles on by accident and saw that what they were saying was completely different than what was actually, being said in Japanese.
Right.
And I was like, that's not what they said.
my whole life is a lie. Been bamboozled.
Yeah.
Viz Media, you lied.
So from then on, I was like, I'm just going to watch this in Japanese with the subtitles in. Because if they're going to be changing everything, then I don't want that. I want to know what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
Because I forget, I think it was the DVD where they were fighting. Well, it was during the Majin Buu saga,
Okay.
and they had just gone to go stop Dabra and I think his name was Babidi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Gohan was fighting Dabra, and Vegeta was getting angry because Gohan was taking forever to defeat him, and he's not even that much stronger than Cell, and he beat Cell. Well, he was holding back for a lot of the fight, but when he didn't, he beat him pretty easily.
Right.
So Vegeta was angry because Gohan wasn't keeping up with his training, and if he would have, this fight would have been over a long time ago. And all they're doing is supplying Buu with all this energy. And I think Goku said something like, "Oh, well, at least he's getting good grades." But then the subtitles popped up, and it said something completely different. And I was like, okay, let me leave this on for a little bit and see. And it was all completely different. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not watching this in dub anymore. Dub sucks. So from then on, I switched to sub. See.
So the Oceans version is that the one that used to be on what was once upon a time called the WB channel?
Yes.
Okay, that was the one that I remember. Yeah, because and I didn't learn it until later on, almost like high school. I want to say that the reason was because I guess they sold the story arcs in sections or in chunks like that. So it was like licensing issues that they didn't have the licensing or the rights to go anything past like Vegeta and Nappa.
Yeah. Yeah, that was about the time I think Funimation picked it up. And I think the last episode of the Ocean dub was when Goku was on his way to Namek.
Yes, correct. Because I didn't start learning about Namek and Frieza and all that till it moved to Toonami or to Cartoon Network.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember I really liked Goku's voice actor a lot better than the Funimation voice actor. Like, I don't know. The Ocean dub dude, I think he passed away recently.
Yeah.
His voice just matched what I pictured Goku would sound like more than what was it, Sean Schemmel?
Yeah, correct.
Than what he sounds like. Like, I know Goku's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have to sound stupid when you're talking.
Right.
Same with the dude that did Vegeta's voice. I can't remember his name, but I liked him better than whatever the other dude's name is. Which, actually, they did get that guy back for one episode of Dragon Ball Super when they had, like, a clone of Vegeta.
Correct. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he took over. He did the voice for the clone Vegeta. I had to look it up because I didn't watch it in dub. So I went on YouTube and looked it up. And he still sounds better than the other dude. So it's like, I don't know why they just didn't get these guys to come back, but Funimation had to get their own people. And I think it was like their first roles doing voice acting, and it just wasn't good. Outside of that, I think my first experience with subbed anime was Urusei Yatsura, which was on, I think it was like the public broadcasting station, or like Channel 10 or something.
Yeah, over here was 54 for us.
Yeah, I remember they had that. They had, Key the Metal Idol.
Yes.
I think they were showing Tenchi Muyo.
Yes. Bubblegum Crisis.
Yeah.
Ava.
And Urusei Yatsura was all in Japanese with subtitles.
Yes.
Which I think I explained last week.
Yes.
That they just tried to dub it and were like, yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're just going to stick with the sub.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first experience with subbed anime. Because I don't think I'd switched over by that time because of Dragon Ball. Let me see. Then when I went into the military, I needed a bunch of other stuff to watch, and they were selling a lot of anime in the BX. So I was just buying new things. That's where I got introduced to like Golden Boy and I think I was buying for that Peacemaker or something. That
Kurogane?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was buying that. I think I bought Witch Hunter Robin
Okay.
at the. Actually, when I was deployed, they had that in the BX in Iraq. Yeah, the BX in Iraq had anime, so I was buying it there too. I got introduced to a lot of stuff.
So you're saying you are a wartime weeb or
Yes.
a war weeb?
Yes,
Oh,
a
interesting.
war weeb.
Interesting. he was literally in the middle of the battle of dub versus sub.
Yes.
He's a veteran of the war.
Yeah, from then on, I just kept branching out because I was watching all this other stuff because of all the DVDs I was buying. So I was like, well, let me check this out. Let me check this out. Let me see. I think the first one I really tried that was comedy was Azumanga Daioh because I was on some forum, like a Dragon Ball forum, but they had a section for like other stuff. And I think they were talking about that one. So I was like, let me check it out. So I downloaded it. Really liked it. So I was like, oh, what else is there? Found Trigun and like, let's see, what were some of the other ones? I think at that time I was reading One Piece and Naruto and all that, so I was watching those as well. But I hadn't really branched out too much from shonen at that time until Azumanga Daioh, and then that's when I started buying all kinds of other stuff. So there was like little things like that, where I'd just be on a forum or something, just reading people's comments about other anime and be like, oh, let me check it out. So I think I did the same with Trigun too, because they were talking about that one. I was like, let me see what it's about. And it was in the BX too, so I was buying the DVDs.
Nice. Trigun was the first time I learned that Johnny Wash, that guy from Power Rangers, was also a voice actor. And
yeah.
I was like, no way! The guy from Power Rangers? The I'm a frog guy? No way! What?
Yeah, but he got a kiss out of that.
What's up?
I said his character got a kiss out of that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Like, yeah, I'm a frog. Speaking of frogs. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Dante's fighting the frog boss in Devil May Cry 4 right now on stream. But anyway. But yeah.
That was one I never checked out, Sergeant Frog.
Sergeant Frog, yeah.
I haven't checked that one out, but I don't know if you've seen those cars. They're like kind of blocky looking.
Mm-hmm.
The back part of it kind of reminds me of the face of like Sergeant Frog. But yeah. Now, I don't think I really need to go too much further into it because you all know where I've gone from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like anime. It's pretty much all I watch almost, except for a little section where I started watching like Adventure Time and was it the Wonderful World of Gumball or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little stretch where I was watching actual Cartoon Network cartoons. But then after those ended, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going back to anime. So yeah.
Then he discovered One Piece and he never looked back.
Actually, One Piece, I almost didn't even give a chance.
Really?
Yeah, because I was in San Antonio going through tech school for the Air Force.
Okay.
And I was in the BX, and they had a section in there where, like a little store that sold manga and anime and action figures and stuff like that. And I started buying Shonen Jump magazine in there because I think it was just starting to come out.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
This was around 2003, I think. And I just remember I think it was Dragon Ball Z on the cover. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to buy that. So I bought it. And I was reading that and Naruto. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga was in there, which was actually pretty good. And then I kind of was skipping over One Piece because I remember seeing one cover of Shonen Jump where it had Buggy the Clown on it. And I was like, a clown? I'm not reading that. And then the dude in that store, when I was buying one of the magazines, was like, hey, you checking out One Piece? And I was like, the one with the clown on it? No.
Well, the correct answer should have been technically yes and no, but yeah, I can see where it's coming from.
And he was like, "You should. It's pretty good." And he was kind of explaining it, and I was like, "All right, well, maybe I'll give it a chance." And I started reading it, and got kind of hooked. Then I found out there was an anime, so I was like, "All right, let me try watching the anime." And the first few episodes almost took me out of it. I was like, "I'm probably going to stop watching the anime," but I kept going, and now it's my favorite of all time. So yeah. Naruto, I didn't have that much issues. Like I was already reading Naruto, so I was like, "Oh, there's an anime for this too." Which I mean, I was buying those from like eBay, so they were just fan sub copies that were put on a disc.
Nice.
Same with my One Piece DVDs I was buying on eBay. They were fan dub too, and then some of them weren't even that good. Like they were horrible subs.
Yeah, it was funny because Horrible Subs just stopped subbing real recently, and I remember back when Horrible Subs was a thing. They were some of the first like subs to come out, but it wasn't their name; it was their actual gimmick. That they were like, "Yeah, we don't care. We just get our stuff out quick," and they were called Horrible Subs because it was literally Horrible Subs. but now, until they just quit a couple months ago, they were like some of the best. So it was like they got. They stepped their game up and started doing better. And then they just kept the name around. But yeah, I remember Horrible Subs actually being horrible back in the day.
Like you ever see subtitles where you got to pause and be like, okay, what are they saying?
Yes, those machine Google Translate generated subtitles. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like I have no idea what they're talking about, like right here. So
yeah,
exactly. I know some of my Naruto subs are getting that bad, and I was like, maybe I should just stop buying these. And I did.
Good call.
But I kept watching Naruto all the way up until Shippuden.
Oh wow.
Up until spoilers. Up until they killed Jiraiya.
No. Yeah.
And then I stopped. I was like, I'm done. You almost killed Gaara, my favorite. Jiraiya was my favorite teacher, and you killed him. Then at the end, I don't know. It's been a few years. Spoilers again. They killed Neji. So like, what the heck? You're killing all of my favorite characters.
What attachment do you have for this show anymore?
Right? So like, forget it. Like I wasn't even reading Naruto when that happened. I was like, I wasn't watching it at the time. I was just reading it. So I was like, that's almost over. I might as well see how it ends. And then they kill Neji. I'm like, what? What? No wonder I gave up on you. One Piece hasn't disappointed me yet, though. So they haven't killed anybody, really.
Very important.
Except for like a few characters. Like I think after they got past the time skip, Oda's been more willing to kill people, but he still hasn't killed a lot of people. But a few characters have actually died, from what I could tell.
Important characters?
Like enemy characters.
Oh, okay. I was about to say they're never going to off Boa Hancock.
No, they better not. she's got to marry Luffy. So.
Yeah. All those cosplayers are going to be out of a job.
Yeah. She should just tell him that she'll cook for him all the time, and he'll marry her.
So before we started recording this, Sachiel, we were looking at the JP voice actors for Devil May Cry, and it turns out that Sanji's voice actor is Dante's JP voice.
Nice.
So I was all like, "Oh wow, oh that's incredible, that's amazing." So,
yep.
But yeah, it's yeah. I didn't do One Piece because there was a guy that I didn't like at the time who was into One Piece, and I was like, well, I don't like that guy, so his taste in anime is probably shit. So I'm gonna pass. But it wasn't until years later, right around maybe 2010 or so, that I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it an honest shot. I'm gonna get over my gripes, my dumb gripes, and do it. And then I was like, oh, that's okay, it's not that bad. It's pretty good. So I respect it now.
Yeah. I think you said you stopped around, what, Alabasta?
Oh, yeah, right after Alabasta. I finished Alabasta, and then they were getting into, like, some of the side story or the filler arc with the dragons, the wind dragons or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I stopped.
I actually don't think the filler for One Piece is that bad. Like, there's a lot of filler
Mhm.
that other shows have where I'm just like, why'd you even bother with this?
Yeah.
This is just horrible.
Yeah.
Don't make your own stories for this. Like Naruto. Naruto does that all the time.
Yeah.
Where they do a filler arc and then they try to tie it into the actual story.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Stop it.
And
Or like Bleach and their weird filler too.
so One Piece, I'm sorry, Naruto was funny because they made an entire season out of their filler arcs. Like, it wasn't just like 2 or 3 things like, was it Piccolo goes to get a driver's license or Goku gets a driver's license?
Both of them.
Both of them. It's not like that. It wasn't like a one-off. It was Naruto made an entire season out of it. Like, they put all these resources into the filler arc, and it was like, was this necessary? This might have been overkill. But to Bleach's respect, I agree. Bleach actually made all their filler arcs intertwined. So it was like all the characters all that were in the filler arcs were relegated strictly to the filler arcs. So it was like they had this entire cast that were just not present in the normal story that follows the manga. But in the filler arcs, it was like, oh, hey, what you been up to? Oh, yeah, man, I just been chilling at McDonald's. Ready to go on an adventure? Yeah, let's go. And then they all come back. And then at the end of the filler arc, you're like, oh, okay. And then they're gone until the next filler arc.
Wow.
Yeah, at least they kept it like to its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cute that Bleach did that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well just keep them all contained to that one little to the filler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to tie them in.
Exactly.
Not like Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
And One Piece, they I don't think, as far as I remember, they haven't tied anything in from filler. Once the filler ends, they kind of just go back to the story. But they do. I think the longest filler was like 12 episodes, 13 episodes, at least from the time I've watched. There's probably one longer now. I haven't been keeping up with the anime too much.
You mean you're not going to tell us when's the next reaction?
No, I won't tell you when the next one reaction.
2021, same question.
Where's One Piece?
Yeah. Hey guys, I've got some great new merch in the shop. I'm working on the website. It's going to be great. Yeah. When's the next One Piece reaction?
None of your business. That's fine. Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all I would get asked. Where's One Piece? I was like, don't know. Whenever Belle comes back.
Guys, I finally got my Lancer Artoria statue. Isn't she gorgeous? She's like 7 feet tall. Oh man, this is amazing. Yeah. When's One Piece coming back? That's all it's gonna be. You know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do for Roman's birthday. I'm just gonna get that on a shirt. When's the One Piece reaction? Just like put it like Luffy eating a piece of meat or something. When's One Piece reactions?
Oh god, it's gonna be like that episode like of Family Guy where it's like Brian and Stewie and like how Stewie keeps getting on to Brian about his novel. It's like, oh hey Ronan, you know that One Piece reaction you were gonna do? You know you're gonna do that thing? Are you gonna do a reaction? Are you gonna do that? The One Piece reaction? You gonna do that reaction?
Thank you for doing that. If I was any good at video editing, I would do that. It'd be like, hey, Roman, what's up with that One Piece reaction? You gonna be doing that One Piece reaction anytime soon, Roman? You gonna do that One Piece reaction anytime soon? Do the robot voice, the system voice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh man. This is what you should do. You should just be like Roman, that One Piece reaction guy. Status offline.
That's gonna be on his epitaph too.
Yeah. Last online 73 weeks ago. Oh man! At least to their credit, they never told you to go die. So because you liked Amelia, so
Yeah, that was just that one Rem fan.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's there you go. That's the journey of Roman's weeb career. Watching anime overseas, learning about DBZ on the international channel, and now death threats for loving his waifu.
Right?
Or just repping his waifu.
Instead of the journey of Elena, it's the journey of Roman. It's more weeb-like than Elena.
Yeah. Which I still gotta watch. Still gotta watch that. Oh, man.
I think it's up for anime of the year.
Yeah, it seemed to be pretty good. And I heard nothing but positive things. So even though at first the first thing I heard about it was no panty shots, and already I was like,
I only saw 3 eps. I mean, it was good, but I didn't like her
as a character.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's funny is that the first thing I heard about that show was the director or whatever said no panty shots. And I was like, okay, that already makes me raise my eyebrows. Then immediately after, they have a bath scene. And I'm like, what? What the hell? No upskirts, but definitely put her in the bath. Oh
I mean, as long as she's not in panties.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And you don't see them.
No.
It's fine.
The magic mist is definitely much better than a panty shot. Absolutely. What are your priorities?
I mean, there's no...
Or that
no
magic
chance.
ray of light.
Yes. The magic bathroom ray of light. Oh, man.
The god rays.
Yeah. Yeah. Anime of the year.
And since then, I've just become more weebier. So
That's right. Yeah.
I was buying plushies and stuff at the time still, but my plushie collection has gotten way out of hand.
Yeah. They should never have given us access to our own funds.
Yeah. And I'm running out of space for figures, even though I still got like 60 on pre-order.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I have no filter for that. I just see something I like, I go pre-order, and then when it's coming out, I'm like, how am I going to pay for this?
Past me didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah, I didn't think that far ahead. Or I'll look at it and I'm like, okay, I only got like 2 figures coming out that month. I could still pre-order this. Then still have enough money to get them all. And the next thing you know, I got 7 figures coming out in a month.
Jeez.
And I'm like, man, and I can't even cancel them because I'll close my account. Which actually, thankfully, Ami has been pretty good about. They haven't closed my account recently.
You know, we live in unprecedented times, so everyone is being more generous.
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
Ugh, knock on wood there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much my story there. It went from Dragon Ball, Urusei Yatsura, to Azumanga Daioh, Trigun, and Golden Boy, to everything else that I'm watching now. Went from liking all of the shonen shows to being more into the slice of life, comedy. I still like shonen, but it's like you watch one, you've seen them all. Unless you're One Piece, and then you're better than everything else.
Right? For some reason. I mean, remember, that's why they call Deku Green Naruto.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. They're all interchangeable, you know. Your Naruto is the same as your Gohan, is the same as your Deku.
Like you do. Whenever we watched like God of High School and now Jujutsu Kaisen, you're like, it's just Bleach.
Everything is Bleach. Everything is just Bleach. No, there was nothing before Bleach, and there'll be nothing after Bleach. Except for Burn the Witch. Burn the Witch is not Bleach. It's the sequel to Bleach.
Which actually, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I liked Burn the Witch.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get into Bleach.
Well, you better hope that he comes back out of retirement and he does it. But like I said, Kubo's whole thing, though, is once he gets started, though, man, it's 75 miles per hour. And then, you know, he doesn't ever pull over to put gas in the car. He just goes. And then he gets burnt out. So, you know, he jumps ahead. There's more Bleach cosplayers than anything else. And then he's done.
And then he's done.
And then he's done. So we bring back Aizen because we don't have any ideas. And he's done.
Much better than the Berserk author.
Yeah.
He's stuck playing Idolmaster?
Yeah.
It's always Idolmaster. It's always Idolmaster.
Hey, to his credit, now nobody is stuck on the boat anymore.
Yeah. How long? That was like what, a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's Bang Dream.
It's Love Live and Bang Dream, yeah. More so Bang Dream. So not really. I mean, I'm sure that I think that they've put out new characters for the Love Live game because of the anime, but outside of that, yeah, it's basically Bang Dream.
Yeah.
But it's always Idolmaster, man. Idolmaster always gets these guys. Like, jeez.
The cute idol girls.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I know. I just, I'm just waiting for the day that was it Bronson from Fist of the North Star. He's like 60 years old or whatever, and he comes out. He's all like, "I do must do." You know. I made Kenshiro, but I also love my idol girls.
They should just give the Berserk author a character in the show.
They should make him be producer. He should just come on as the voice of producer.
Being about Idol Master though, it's like some time ago I learned like there is an actual like Idol Master series that has male idols in it called Side M.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen it on Crunchyroll. I never clicked on it though because I want to start with the original. Well, the original is like what the one where they had mechs, right? That was the first anime, but I want to watch the actual like Idolmaster anime before I get started on anything else. But yeah.
What was the name of the male one?
Side M.
Side M. Okay.
And that was like a side game as well, right?
I think so.
Because it was like one of the I don't know. It's like you load the game up and then you like pick which one you want to do. You want to do the girl side or the boy side. So they implemented them, but I don't know anything about it after that.
Yep.
But
Bang Dream has a male version as well.
Is it called Man Dream?
Sargonaverse. It'd be funny if it was Man Dream.
Man Dream. Bang Dream, Man Dream. There you go.
But no, it's Argonavis.
Argonavis.
Yeah.
Interesting. You never talk about him. That's why I don't know about this.
I know they had a series. I only watched one episode.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the subtitle, so I was waiting a bit to see if somebody else released something better. Because like some of them were like a little weird. Like I get what you're saying, but why is it written like that?
Machine translations.
Right. So yeah, I'll probably check it out soon though, because I'm pretty sure by now there's got to be better subtitles. It came out last year.
Oh yeah.
So I'll check to see what's out there. But yeah, that's my story.
Well, I'll go. I'll keep mine short. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I was like a little weep too, but honestly, before I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I remember Dragon Ball, and one of my most vivid memories is I guess right after he learned, was it Kaioken, he blew up like Master Roshi's car.
Kamehameha.
Yeah, Kamehameha. Yeah. And it was like Chibi Goku, and he's just all like, "Oh, I got this power," and then he just like puts his hand out, just boom, blows up the car. See, I remember stuff. And then of course Oolong, when he finally, they summoned Shao Ran and the big evil guy, who's now the bad guy in Dragon Quest Dai, and he's all like, "Oh, now I'm gonna rule the world," and then Oolong's all like, "Give me women's panties," and then he got the panties, and Shao Ran's all like, "You got it," and then he got the panties, and then I was all like, "I'm like 9. Why does he want a girl's underwear?" And yeah.
And then later on, you're like, "That's why he wanted girls."
Yeah. when I was a little weeb. So that was one of my earliest moments. And then Sailor Moon, whenever I got a chance to come home, and I did not know until about like Crystal came out a little bit on like how vastly different Sailor Moon was to the manga. I mean, and it was so funny too because it was like one of the specials or something, and they were like, "Hey guys, did you want to hear what's the original opening?" And I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And they actually did a fairly good job on the opening conversions. Like, when you watch obviously Dragon Ball, there's the big difference between Rock the Dragon and Ex-Shala.
Yeah.
But then with Sailor Moon, it actually wasn't that bad. I think maybe they were a little generous with the lyrics. I think the lyrics may have changed to, I guess, better fit the song in English. But the actual, like, they kept the same song, though. They just altered the lyrics to fit better in English versus Japanese. You know, because there's, like, less or more syllables depending on which language it is. Usually more syllables in English versus Japanese, so... yeah, and then they altered it a little bit just to make more context better in English. But other than that, like, you know, the songs are basically the same too. But yeah, and so that's why when I started seeing Dragon Ball Z, you know, I was like, oh yeah, look, I remember this kind of, I remember that guy, and then I was like, cool, and you know, and I was like, yeah, and then, you know, he beat Nappa and Goku or Vegeta. And then it was like, cool, all right. And then we went all the way back to Raditz killing that farmer guy. Oh, you're only level 5, kick rocks. And then he, like, kills him. It's like, what? So, like, that farmer only had us a shotgun. It's like, what the hell, man?
Well, I mean, that farmer had it coming.
You had it coming? Why are you on Raditz's side? Explain.
You shot at him.
You shot him? Well, you trespassed. This is America. The Second Amendment. You get shot. Damn illegal aliens!
I mean, if you're gonna shoot at somebody, you better expect for them to shoot back.
Fair, okay, all right. Fair enough.
I mean, sure, it was with the bullet that he shot at him, but still.
Okay, all right. Stand your ground, laws. I see where you're coming from.
Right? Right?
But okay.
It might have been Florida.
That's right. Damn Florida farmers. Oh shit! All the aliens they can get on their farms. My favorite part about the farms out in Florida are all the mountains and the canyons that are out in Florida.
Right?
Toriyama was ahead of the time. He knew. Oh, goddamn. Oh, okay. All right. So you know, so yeah, so that's why, like yeah, that was always my thing. Why I didn't last too long with Dragon Ball Z, because if I had to see Raditz come over the ocean into Florida from Cuba in his damn space ball one more time, I was all like, I'm done with this. And yeah, and like I said, it wasn't until years later that I learned that it was a licensing thing, that they just sold them in story arcs like that I was all like, oh, okay. And it just bothered me. So I just kind of was like, all right, I don't want to see this again. Call me when they actually go further. And then at that time, I was like, all right. But it wasn't the, you know, I didn't hate the premise of the show or anything. I thought that was cool. You know, the characters were cool and all that. But, you know, Piccolo blew up the moon. It was like, cool. And at that time, I didn't know that the moon was so integral to, like, tides and gravity and all of that. Thank you, Piccolo. But, you know...
apparently on that world, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
also, it was Master Roshi who blew up the moon.
But I thought Piccolo blew it up in Dragon Ball Z.
No, what was being projected was a projection.
Oh, I thought the projection came after Piccolo blew up the moon.
No, Master Roshi destroyed it because Goku turned into the giant monkey, Ozaru. And then in Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo was training Gohan, a projection from one of the sand pods came out of the moon,
right,
turning Gohan into one of the Ozaru.
Okay.
And then he found the pod and destroyed it.
Okay.
I still remember.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I remember Piccolo blowing up the moon. I didn't know that it was a projection of a projection already. I didn't know we were that far away. Far ahead. But yeah. All right. So, yeah, and that's where that all came about. So,
I also think that was filler, too.
Really?
Yeah.
In Dragon Ball?
In Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
The Piccolo part, yeah.
Wow. Oh, man. But yeah, and that was basically it until, like, middle school when one of my classmates, he was all like, yeah, I got this thing, it's called... Well, no, I take that back. So then in around middle school, too, right before I got my hands on Ranma, I randomly discovered that Sci-Fi Channel was showing anime.
Oh, yeah.
So Sci-Fi Channel would randomly show things at like 5 in the morning that were like 6 in the morning. Stupid ass early. And of course it was cut with commercials and censored and no cussing. But it still was like anime. So I mean, you know, that's where I saw like Tenchi the movie, Robot Carnival, Kashern, Um,
Do you remember Cartoon Network used to show anime movies too?
kind of. What did they show?
They had Vampire Hunter D. I remember this one that they had on there that I cannot remember the
I
name
remember
to.
Vampire Hunter D on Sci-Fi.
I remember seeing it on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
But there was this one anime that I remember because it was kind of a mix between anime and live action,
Okay.
dealing with cockroaches.
Oh God.
Yeah, the cockroaches were all animated, and all the humans were live action. And it
Was
was
it
like
Night of the Cockroaches?
I maybe I just know that it was like they were living in this dude's house because he didn't care because that they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he gets like this girlfriend and she wants to kill all the cockroaches, so he starts killing all the cockroaches. And now they got to try to find a new place to live because they're all getting killed.
Mm.
It was weird. Also, for anybody who's listening to this, as of this recording, Princess Connect just downloaded on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So it's up. Okay, go ahead.
Twilight of the
Cockroaches?
Twilight of the Cockroaches.
Night of the
think
Living
so.
Cockroaches.
Hiroaki Yoshida. Yeah, it looks like Madhouse. Oh wow, Madhouse. Wow. From '87.
Yeah, this is the one.
Wow.
Okay.
So Twilight of the Cockroaches.
Mm.
Because I forget what Cartoon Network was showing anime.
Oh wow. Yoshitaka Amano, that's the Final Fantasy guy, and then Vampire Hunter D, same artist.
Oh. Wow.
Interesting.
Some big guys on there.
Mm.
For a weird cockroach anime.
Yeah. TVS.
I think
TNT,
this
Cartoon
tech
Network.
has the license for it now.
Yeah.
Often paired with Vampire Hunter D, Robot Carnival.
Yeah. As a result, it's one of the first exposures to anime. We're reading the Wikipedia right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. Turner Broadcasting owns TBS, TNT, and Cartoon Network. Man, makes sense. It's all coming together now. It's all a giant anime conspiracy. The cable companies were making us into weebs. We didn't even realize it.
No, I didn't.
But yeah. Oh, and Fatal Fury, the movie too. Like I said in the waifu episode, that Mai Shiranui was the first, my first ever waifu that I would declare my actual waifu. Like that's why my, when you see me in the Discord and all of that, and on Facebook now, it kind of illustrates why my tastes in waifu are the way they are. If you didn't realize that, if you couldn't catch on, it started with Mai. So yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna start somewhere,
might
as well be mine.
That's why it's and a lot of people was like like Chun-Li or Cammy or from Street Fighter, and even though they were all right, they didn't stand out to me as much or make an impact as much as Mai did. So that's why I'm all like, I attribute Mai, even though I played Street Fighter before I played Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, which I could probably say a lot of people were like that too. When it wasn't really until Mai came out that I discovered waifu was, and then obviously later on I discovered the concept of the waifu. Like you said, I was a manga daio, but yeah, Fatal Fury was also on Sci-Fi, and that's what I also recognized. I was like, oh, that's a Fatal Fury real bout. I remember those guys. So
Actually, I think I saw the Street Fighter 2 movie
yes,
before I saw Fatal Fury.
I was the opposite. I saw Fatal Fury before I saw Street Fighter, the animated movie.
And I forget where I saw Fatal Fury. It might have been Sci-Fi, like you said.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Fatal Fury, and of course, Mai was censored because there was the Mai shower scene. They just cut that out, and then there was Mai's boobs popped out, and they just put the blur on that. And I was all like, "Why is it blurred? Someone fix the camera." So I didn't.
An anime.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time. We censor our anime boobies at 6 a.m. on Sci-Fi Channel, but yeah. And then I remember too, they had to advertise that too. They were like uncensored and uncut. If you went to like Sam Goody at the time, then you saw the Fatal Fury movie, because they actually did have two cuts of the movie.
Yeah,
it was like the TV broadcast, and then they had the uncensored, uncut. It was like, okay.
I miss Uncut.
Well, yeah, that's also part of the flashback episode, I guess we could say. But yeah, that was two huge sources for me. And then, one day this guy said he had Ranma, And then I was all like, okay. And then I saw Ranma, and he had the first like 6 or 8 episodes, I think. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just, I watched the first 8 episodes like over and over and over and over and over and over again because that's all I had. So I was all like, why is Shampoo saying ni hao? And I was like, later on I learned that that's, hello. But,
and that other Asian language.
Yeah, that's not Japanese. Yeah. And then, what else? Then high school happened, and then anime club happened, and then, roughly my exposure to English dubbed anime didn't last too very long because it still was very rare that I caught movies on sci-fi, so it was pretty much like those 5 were the only ones I saw, and then like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and then after that I hit high school, joined the anime club, and then the anime club just indoctrinated me, and they were like, quit watching that dub shit, watch this sub stuff. And then it was like, I became an angry video game nerd in the Sega CD episode where he was like, whoa, whoa. Then my mind is all melting away, and it's all like, yeah, it just, after that, I just came out, and I was just brainwashed. I was inculcated. It was all like, subs over dubs, subs over dubs, subs. It's like, hey, Steve, you want to watch this Ava video? It's in English. And I would just like slap the person. Subs over dubs. Subs over dubs. Yeah. That's how they got me. And that's where I started hearing the names that are shockingly I still hear over 20 years later. Still hear Hikaru Midorikawa, Seiki Tomokazu, Koyasu Takahito, Mitsuishi Kotono, Megumi Hayashibara, Kikaku Inui. They're still acting. Maya Sakamoto. I was telling Roman that I literally was watching Escaflowne as they were airing in Japan, on VHS subtitled copies, and it was like that was Maya Sakamoto's debut role, and it was her, Seiki Tomokazu, and Michi Shinichiro. So, Jeanne d'Arc, Gilgamesh, and Kojiro Sakaki. There you go. They were. What's up? Sasaki, yeah. I said Sakaki, sorry. Sasaki Kojiro. And, yeah.
From Azumaki.
Yeah. Yeah, that was them in Escaflowne. Maya Escaflowne. Yeah, Maya Escaflowne. Maya Sakamoto actually sang the opening to Escaflowne. That's why it was like a big deal, because it was like, yeah, we got this new chick. She's going to do voice acting and sing the opening, and she's 16 years old. And that's why a lot of people, too, they were like, Isekai? Oh, you mean Escaflowne? And it's like, yes, you're not wrong. So, yeah. But yeah. And then Anime Club happened, and then that was all. Man, it was just like my mind was blown because it was like Rurouni Kenshin happened, and then Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai Net J. What else were we watching? We did Cowboy Bebop, obviously. That was another big one too. Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing happened, and then I went to Japan for the first time in '99 with the very first paycheck I ever made, and I was like, yay! And so I made the giant mistake of going in the middle of the summer, and I learned what Japanese summers are like, and it's like, this sucks. And ever since then, that's why whenever I go to Japan, you never catch me going in like the middle of the summer. It's always like now up to April, and then not again until like September, October.
It's super hot.
Yeah, and humid, and it's my heart goes out to the Japanese, man. Y'all are real badasses. You guys get these things called actual seasons. We in California don't have those. Man.
It's hot or it's cold.
Yeah. Basically. So they're jacket or no jacket. Or sometimes you take the jacket, but by the time you leave work, you don't need the jacket. So,
yeah.
Man. Yeah. Summer in Japan, man. Oof.
I know. I was there for 2 years.
Oof.
It was not fun.
Yeah.
But I had air conditioning at the time, so it was cool.
Yeah. The Japanese have learned to coexist with their nature, with their surroundings. Yeah. Yeah. And then I remember towards the end of high school, like right before the last couple of years, what did we have? We had Digimon, and then Dot Hack, Love Hina, Noir. Noir was a good one because that was the first introduction to Studio Beehive, I believe. And then because they were the ones that did Noir, and then they like turned around and they did like Dot Hack. They did the Dot Hack series.
Okay.
And then and then they did a couple other ones, and then that's where I got introduced. I called it the chicks with guns genre, basically. And that was like that was good. And then Initial D was another one at the time.
I remember there was a dude in Japan that I went that was in the military with who didn't like anime but loved Initial D.
Yeah. And Initial D is one of those shows that a lot of people compromise on. They're not like mega weebs, but they'll always be like, "Oh, I like Initial D," or "I like One Piece," or "I like Dragon Ball."
Well, he was really big into cars.
Yeah.
So I think at that time I was always thinking to myself, "There's at least one anime for everybody out there, even if they don't like anime.
Correct.
They'll find one."
Correct.
And that was his Initial D.
Correct. And by the way, that main character, Takumi, was Michi Shinichiro as well. Michi Shinichiro used to be a very, very big deal. Like, he was in a lot of shit. Like I said, I was shocked when his birthday came up in the Seiyu page, put out that he was the Tanya Superior and Tanya the Evil. And I was like, really? No fucking way. Okay. All right. Go on with your bad self. Still voice acting. All right, homie. I see you. He used to be up there, man. Like I said, it used to just be that the same 7 people in all your shows. Nowadays, it's just like, it's the same thing, but the people have changed. But
still the same 7.
They
got more range.
Yeah. So it's
Unless you're Aoyuki, then yeah.
Everyone loses to Aoyuki. So.
Oh no, I was talking about her lack of range.
Jeez, man! Wow, just this guy.
I'm kidding.
This guy, man. You know that Yuki's inspiration was Miyuki Sawashiro, right? So like Mordred and
who that is.
Mordred, Saeko from High School of the Dead. She's all like that was
Mordred. No wonder she's not that good.
Wow.
Ew.
And then Miyuki Sawashiro, I've always been saying, is the second coming of Atsuko Tanaka. So. Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. Carmilla from FGO.
Ah, nice.
So, and Medea. So, which Medea? Older Medea. 3-star Medea. So, but yeah.
It's kind of funny that the older one is the 3-star. And the younger one is the 4.
That's the joke.
And nobody cares about either of them.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Wow. No, I mean, Medea was good in that in the 100 Hassan fight, where she would just rule breaker everybody. It was one of the Nero Fest fights. When a Hassan came out, if he died, the person that killed him would immediately die. They'd get instant KO. So you had to call Medea and do rule breaker to get rid of that effect, because it was considered a buff.
Okay.
So she needed to do it, and she's the only one that could, loop her NPs at the time. So yeah. So she had her moment to shine, and they did make fan art of that as well. So it's out there.
For just stabbing all those.
Yeah, well, it was just her like covered in blood on a pile of Hassans. Yeah, it's a thing.
Nice.
Well, everybody's logging off for the night.
We just saw the Princess Connect came out.
Oh, is that what it is? So it's a Toho Snipers, not the Toho Stillborn is Genshin Impact. But yeah.
Genshin Twilight.
Yeah. I missed Zoids though back in the day. I didn't watch Zoids. I know Zoids was pretty big. We had a mutual friend, our friend Jose. He was big into Zoids, and he was getting the toys and the models and everything.
Yeah.
And it looked cool. I just missed that boat. And a new Zoid series just came out like a year or two ago. I want to say too, like in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
A new Zoids was out.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it. I didn't watch it though, because I didn't watch the original.
Yeah. Cool concept. I just missed that boat completely. And then like Roman, because like I said again, Roman and I actually went to the same high school. We had different paths after high school, so
Yeah.
and then I was moving around, and so when I was moving around, I didn't really watch anything, and then I started playing Final Fantasy 11, and that was my bridge to the rest of the guys back here in California. And then and then Jose, our friend, would tell me once in a while things to watch, and I watched. That's why I watched My Hime. I watched Gundam Seed, Scrapped Princess. Oh God, I'm missing one. I'm missing another one. Okay, but yeah. Then Bleach, Tenjo Tenge, like I said, Naruto, on and off watching that. But mainly my world at the time was just Final Fantasy 11, so I just really wasn't watching anything. Gundam Seed Destiny was up with that, and then I learned all the stuff that happened behind the scenes in that show, and it was kind of like, oh, okay. But yeah, then all of that, and then when I came back, it was all party hard and party lifestyle and all of that. And then when Jose and our other friend, when they left, this was roughly at about 2009, 2010. They moved on. They moved out of state because they were all doing other stuff. And then that's when I started hanging out with people like Sachiel and our current circle. And that's when I was like, okay. Then we started doing cons and all of that. And that's when I started getting heavy into the yearly and seasonal shows again. Because I was like, what's big? And I remember I had to ask one of our friends that moved to SoCal. I'd be like, dude, what the hell is a Vocaloid? And he had explained it to me and all that. I was like, oh, okay, they're cool. And then Panty and Stocking was a thing, and then Tiger and Bunny, and then Gurren Lagann, all of those. And then right when I around 2010, 2011, again started getting into all the seasonal shows. Right before that too was also Code Geass, so obviously, of course. And then like Roman said, here we are. That's basically it, So, yeah, and that's kind of why, like I said, I didn't last too long in dubbed anime because over the lifespan of my weeb career, maybe about 2 years of it was to dub, and then after that I've been sub all the way, and yeah, and like Roman said too, a lot of these guys don't even do the characters anymore; they all have been replaced. So. Even in Final Fantasy VII, the JP voices are all the same. They've been the same since like 03 when they got Japanese voices in Kingdom Hearts 1. But now they're all like replaced, so it's like okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah.
Yep.
So cool. All right, I'm done.
Okay. I was gonna start my little dribble, I guess.
Cool.
Do it.
All right. So just to kind of give you guys a perspective, when I first got to anime, I was living in 2 different places at the time. So I was gonna give you guys a little bit of perspective on that because I lived in California for pretty much most of my life, but then kind of like around like the mid 90s later on, like I moved to Ohio. So it's like the way people kind of like were perceptive towards anime and those who are aware of it is different between both states. So I was going to discuss about that for my little flashback thing. So as far as when I first started into anime, this is kind of like around like mid 90s. So this is kind of like around the time I was probably like freshman in high school. And I had a friend of a friend come up to me and he's like, hey, have you heard this show called Rama at One Half? It's insane. You should watch it. But the thing was that it was a fan sub. So it was pretty much like we went to watch this fan sub. And it was pretty crazy at the time because also at the time too, like the high school that me and my friends went, they had a Japanese class. So it was pretty much where if you were a weeb, you also went to this Japanese class to learn Japanese. So, and then later on, like as far as video rentals, because that was my big thing too, was like every weekend my dad would take me to Blockbuster to like pick up like either like something to watch or something to play. So this was the first time I started seeing Animegos stuff showing up at Blockbuster. So that's when I was first exposed to Bubblegum Crisis on VHS, and that was pretty crazy. And then like some of like US manga stuff, or like Central Park Media, Manga Entertainment. So it's pretty much like at the time, it wasn't series that you could rent. It was either you can only get like the movies, or you can only get OVAs at the time to rent. So it's pretty much like whatever was mainstream at the time that I could rent was like, you know, like Akira or like Ghost in the Shell at the time. But I also will find like some oddball things. Like at the time, like I found like my first exposure to like something that's really ecchi, that's almost like borderline like softcore, like Pink, is Dragon Knight. And I didn't know about this at the time. It was like, because I kind of like read it. It's like, oh, so it's like, it's a comedy, but it's a little sexy. Okay. So like when me and my dad saw this, and we saw like just, like, you know, like the girls in the bondage, and like the guy like taking photos of the girls in the bondage, I was like, oh my God. It was like the most awkward thing ever too, because I also remember like when I first watched Devil Hunter Yoko with my dad, like the that scene where like when it was like with Yoko and the demon in the hotel room. That was really awkward too.
Family bonding.
My God.
I remember briefly Devil Hunter Yoko. I just remember her grandmother showing up on the Harley.
Yeah. I like how her mom is like pretty much a total thought.
Yeah. They just don't make them now like they used to, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, at least like in California, and at least at the time, like, you know, it's like people are like exposed to a lot of anime. Granted, it was still pretty niche, but it was still like a lot of like, there's still a following for it, because it's mostly within the Asian communities at the time where they had the exposure for it. And like, if and when you did watch anime, it was either like a Japanese raw or a fan sub. So when I ended up moving to Ohio later on in the 90s, so this is probably around maybe like 95, 96, it's a little different, because in the Midwest, like people were aware that anime was a thing, but they either were not really receptive towards it, or if they did know about anime, they kind of like brushed it aside as like, oh, it's a kids thing, because they saw it as just cartoons, or like, yeah, whatever. So access to anime in Ohio was a little bit more difficult, because your only access to anime was either Toonami late at night, or at Sunpost, where I remember mentioning it like on the last podcast, where it's like you would only get maybe like 1 or 2 episodes on a VHS tape for like $30, and that's for the subtitles. So that was like my exposure to it. But like, but what's neat about between the anime groups between California and with Ohio is that, at least for Ohio, it's a little bit more close knit, because it was kind of like getting into that point where anime was starting to be a little bit more like, oh, it's like it's only the geeks that watch anime. Pretty much just like how with people who play Dungeons & Dragons, like, oh, it's just the nerds that play Dungeons & Dragons, whatever, man. You know, so it's kind of like one of those things you get ostracized for. It's like, oh, like you like this geeky thing or this nerdy thing, you're kind of like brushed aside, you know, or you get bullied by it. But in Ohio, it was very like close knit in terms of people who liked anime. So at the time too, like when I was in Ohio, I didn't have cable. It was pretty much basic of the basic cable, so I didn't have access to like Sci-Fi Channel or like Cartoon Network. So when I did watch Toonami, it would be like I would go to a friend's house and like spend the night, and it would be like me and like a few friends, like we would have like watch parties just to watch Toonami. So it would be like us watching like Cowboy Bebop or Blue Sub 6 or like Gundam Wing or whatever. So that was pretty much how we watched our anime. Or like if we did rent something, it'd be like a movie or OVA, or if someone like got in like a fan sub, then we watched that. So as far as like stuff that I watched at the time, from then to now, like I said, like I started off with Rama Half and Bubblegum Crisis. So trying to jog my memory. So like, yeah, because my only other access at the time was through Toonami, so it's pretty much whoever was on Toonami. Like I said, like Cowboy Bebop, with Submarine 6, Gundam Wing, what else? Like at the time.
Star.
Yeah, Outlaw Star. No onsen episode though.
No.
Yes, Outlaw Star was fun. I remember Outlaw Star.
Trigun was also on there.
Yeah, Trigun.
Was it?
Yeah, Trigun was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just kind of like later on, like between when I was still living in Ohio and when I moved back to California, my taste changed a little bit because it was pretty much I was trying to get what I could get my hands on at the time. And at the time when I moved back to California, this was probably like maybe early 2000s, so maybe like 2001, 2002-ish. Was when New Type was still out in America. And when you got New Type, you get like the demo discs. So it's pretty much like, oh, it's like the first episode of an anime series that's coming out that season. So the first time when I got a New Type, it came with the first episode of Kino's Journey. And I remember loving Kino's Journey because it was kind of like I watched it it was kind of like a turning point in my life when I moved back from Ohio to California. So, and I actually did manage to meet the author for Kino's Journey at Crunchyroll Expo. I think it was back in like 2017, I think. And I was able to talk to him about that too. It was like, yeah, it's like I really appreciate your work because it was when I first saw it, it was like that time when I first moved back to California, and it was like that huge turning point. So I was able to thank him for that, and that was pretty cool. So, so it's like from Kino's Journey. I did see some initial D, but it was probably like some episodes from the first season. I didn't get to watch any more of that, and it was like around the time too where it was pretty much like whatever I would either like hear like on the grapevine or like what my friends were watching at the time. Which it was another thing, like because I remember you guys mentioning Golden Boy. That was how I ended up seeing Golden Boy. Was one of my friends was like, he was one of those guys who was really into like the fan service anime, and that was like the first anime he showed me was Golden Boy. So that was fun. Oh, actually, like back when I was in Ohio, like what my boyfriend at the time, he showed me Fushigi Yugi.
The other isekai.
Yeah, the other isekai. That, and also my very first Studio Ghibli movie, Nausicaa. So Nausicaa holds a very special place in my heart because it was my very first Ghibli movie that I've ever seen. And it's just, I just, like love the character, love the story, and the animation and the music. I just loved everything about that movie. And then also, I guess you could call it somewhat anime, but it's technically a video game. He was also really big into Sakura Tyson. So I would hear nothing about like Sakura Tyson from him. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised no one's brought up Full Metal Alchemist. It just hit me.
Oh, I was going to get into that because like I was going to get into when I was going to art school.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I went to art school, that was when I first saw Full Metal Alchemist, and I saw some other series too along the way because at the time when I was going to art school, they had a anime club. So it was basically this anime club is it's effectively like them like introducing you to shows. So it's not like like a I guess like a typical anime club where you just kind of like hang out, talk about anime, and you probably have like a watch party. For this particular anime club, it's like, oh, we're gonna talk about this genre and like anime shows or like movies or OVAs that covered under this genre. So like how you guys were talking about like Fatal Fury and whatnot. So like there was one showing we did where we were talking about kind of like action anime and like for like martial arts. So we did watch like Fatal Fury. I think we only saw the OVA. We didn't see the movie.
Okay.
I think we saw something else too, but I don't remember. So
Gao Kaiser.
Gal guys.
Same studio.
Yeah.
They did eventually make a Gao Kaiser fighting game, but I don't think it was SNK.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it was 80K or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was like interesting thing about as far as anime and art schools is that you get into like these arguments where like how there would be some people who did not consider anime as an art form. So you would always have these people. It's like you like anime? Oh, that's not even art. It's just just like cartoon girls with big boobs or whatever. And it's like.
Yep.
That's like, dude, you like it's like you watch like freaking what is it, like Adult Swim? You watch this Adult Swim like cartoons, and they're just pretty much wiggly lines. It's like, what's your point?
Home videos.
I remember home videos.
Yeah.
They used to tie that in to get you to watch all the weeb stuff, or vice versa. They were like, "Oh, you like home movies? Now stick around and watch Gundam Wing."
Yeah, so that was like the pretty cool thing about me with that anime club was pretty much like it's more of like exploring different types of shows and genres rather than just kind of like just people just hanging out and like talking about anime and watching anime, so like in a more casual environment. So and then after art school it kind of like trailed off like for some shows, it was like pretty much like I didn't really get into the trends back then, so I didn't watch like whatever was like the latest moe anime or the latest isekai anime or whatever. It was pretty much like I ended up watching a little bit more of like shows that are kind of like a little bit like kind of like off those genres that were like popular at the time. So it was like I remember watching like Dororo. I remember loving that, like the new Dororo anime. That was really great. And then what else?
No, Dororo's the dude with the samurai guy protecting the kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he had to defeat was like the 47 demons to get parts of his body back.
Oh, so the guy that had like a sword hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sword arm. Okay.
Yeah.
the lizard guy and the super buff chick, that's Dorohedoro.
Yeah,
okay. And that one's on Netflix.
Okay.
But Dororo is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Because you need to have 7 accounts to watch anime these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of going, like you said, to Sam Goody and and Hollywood Video and all of that.
Yeah. For me, in my case, it was Suncoast.
Suncoast, yeah.
Yeah, Suncoast for me.
And I know that you brought this up on Facebook, and we might have put it on the group page or in Discord, but Battle Athletes is coming back, Daiun Dokai.
Oh.
So that was one that I was looking forward to. That one kind of flew under the radar. I remember watching or getting the first VHS of the original, and then the OVA, which was the like sequel to the TV show. But yeah, that one. I'm not sure if you watched that one or if you caught it.
I think remember seeing it, but I don't remember for the life of me at the moment. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's
No
getting a
worries, bro.
remake or whatever. So yeah, now is everyone's chance to watch it. So
Okay.
I honestly, hearing you talk about the retro stuff, it just every year I have this hope that this is going to be the year that they remake Area 66. I'm sorry, Area 88, 66,
Oh,
Area
88.
88. And I'm just like, please, 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 please. And then it doesn't happen, and I just depress myself, which is funny because it's already a depressing show. I heard that in the 80s one and the original like graphic novel and all that were kind of depressing, but they did a 2004 remake, and in that one it has a happier ending, and I'm not sure if I like it or if I hate it.
Area 88. That sounds familiar.
That's the one that came out and is like anime Top Gun.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the Capcom made a shmup out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. They did a good job on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So praise for Capcom.
Yeah, like I said, remember there was a time when Capcom ruled the world, man, where they could do no wrong whatsoever. But obviously, no empire lasts forever, so But yeah, carry on, continue, please.
Yeah. So. Where I left off. Oh yeah, so it's pretty much like when after art school, it was pretty much like how I was saying, like kind of like a little bit everything at the time, but not all the like the hyper trendy stuff. And also like kind of like going back watching like a lot of the retro stuff that I either had watched in the past and I started rewatching it, or I rediscovered, or like I never heard of this show before. So I guess as far as one that I have never heard before that's a retro show that I end up really liking a lot is City Hunter. City Hunter is so much fun.
I've
seen the Jackie Chan meme. Outside of that, I haven't seen any other City Hunter.
They did a new series for that.
Yeah,
recently, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, they did something more recently, right, Mikayla?
I believe they recently did a movie.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
It was like XYZ.
Because I remember seeing I think memes with him and like this big hammer. That's that guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Discotech has the license for that. So because before it was ADV, but I remember the for the ADV when they had the DVD case for it, the artwork for the DVD cases were freaking horrendous. It was pretty much like someone tracing over an action still or something. They were pretty horrendous. But what was really great though, for their credit, was that they did have later notes in between episodes, as far as them kind of explaining certain words or certain situations or areas that may be lost in translation, because trying to explain someone what was it Mikori means, it's I don't know how you would explain that to someone outside. It's if it's just just an expression, or it's something a little bit more. It's kind of hard to explain even for me now. But yeah, it's that, and then Vampire Princess Miyu, Guyver, the original Guyver.
I didn't like the original.
And what else did I see? That was oh yeah, because I did also see Robot Carnival. I mean, that's for me, that's an essential, is Robot Carnival. Of course, Vampire Hunter D. What else? God, there's so many shows
I know, right? When you're trying to remember on demand, it's oh man.
Yeah, but it's but for now, it's because of with my job and everything, I don't get to watch a lot of stuff like I used to.
Yeah.
And if I do get to watch something, it's either if it's current season or if it's something from a past season or years ago. I just sit and just binge watch it.
Yeah.
I recently binge watched After the Rain, and that's on Amazon Video. That's actually really surprisingly good. It's based on a manga series. So it's despite like its subject matter, because that's what usually like will turn people off, because it's like, oh, it's this like this older guy having a relationship with a younger girl, like, it's turns off people, at first, but the way the show handles that without major spoilers, it does it in such a mature way, and it's like they handle it with such grace. It's such a wonderful anime, which is something I personally would recommend. It's like one of those shows where it's like you didn't know about it first, but then it's like once you start watching a few episodes, it's like, hey, now I get it, and you just binge watch it. It's like 12 episodes, so it's a quick watch, a quick binge, but yeah, it's like that really surprised me.
I remember that because it's like we develop a bond through working out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I started watching it. I think I'm like on episode 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was definitely one that I saved on Prime because I want to go back and finish it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but other than that, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much how I got to here now. Like, like back in the Bay, and like, like getting back into kind of like more of the anime stuff. So it's like it's either like, like hanging out with friends, and going to conventions. I didn't used to go to conventions before, but like at the time, like I started going to them a lot more, before the pandemic. So, so it's kind of like getting more of like exposure, like to, like different shows and like different types of fans and like what they're into, what their tastes are, and also like talking to different like industry folks or like people who are like in the show. So it's like either like the voice actors or like, like the main artists or whatnot. It's pretty great, because for me it's like you get to see different aspects of anime, not just the shows themselves, like you also see beyond the shows, which I think is really great.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I loved Anime Expo, because it was just such a big industry thing. And things like giving Yuasakawa a bottle of Malibu rum because she said she liked going to drink with the Love Hina girl actresses, the Love Hina girls, to being in the elevator with the mangaka from Black Lagoon, him and his entourage there, his security. It was. Oh, and then we caught Nabishin right outside of the Marriott. That was great.
Oh wow!
And I think I got that photo on Facebook somewhere too. He was just outside the hotel smoking, and then we were our friend Jose and I, and then we were like, "Oh, dude, can we get a photo?" And he just nodded, put his cigarette down, and posed with us. It was great. So yeah, I agree, man. You all with cons and the con scene. That's why, yeah, love it. So it's led to this podcast now. My passion and love for the community is why I'm here now. So I'm with you.
Yeah. It's like I always find that fun too with conventions, where it just be like you'll just be hanging out somewhere, and then you have like you'll be sitting at the table just kind of like relaxing and whatnot, and then like you end up like with you and the people just end up going off to do stuff. So it's like one story I can tell you guys was back in Fanime a few years ago. It was just me kind of like chilling out like on one of the tables. I was just relaxing. And there was like a couple of people there, like on the table, like sitting at the table, and they're like, "Oh, hey, do you want to play apples to apples?" Like, yeah, sure. It's like it was like just a casual game of apples to apples, and then it was starting to be kind of like later in the day, and it was kind of like pretty much like our group split. So like one part of the group kind of went off to do their own thing. I ended up going off with the other group. It was like me and these two guys, like just for shits and giggles, we went to the hentai viewing room.
Of course.
And it was really funny too, because it was like at the time it was like they were showing like the more kind of like the sillier type of hentai shows, not the more serious ones. Because when we went to the room, they were showing night shift nurses.
Oh, the classic.
Wow.
Yes, it was really funny. So it's kind of like how the way like the hentai room works, because I'm sure it's different at every convention. So like for what Fanime does is that I think it's like before, but I know they do this after the scenes, where like after the little sexy scene, like they ask everybody to put their hands up, and like they have ushers going down like the rows with a black light to say make sure there isn't anything questionable on your hands or anything questionable just going on in general.
Wow.
I've heard stories too. Some people have gotten away with it. I don't know how. They're just the gods of FAP over here, but yeah.
God, there was like one story that someone told me. This is secondhand, so my recollection of the story might be a little off. So it was like I don't remember the exact convention this happened, but this happened many years ago, where like while staff was cleaning up the hentai room, someone found a pair of pants.
Wow.
Just a random pair of pants. Like they don't even know like how the person got in and out with this extra pair of pants, but it was just this pair of pants just laying out, like in the middle of the room. They're just like, okay.
See, if I was in charge, I'd get on the mic. They have the audio system at the con, and be like, we now have a pair of pants at Lost and Found. If you have lost your pants in the hentai viewing room or the adult viewing room, please come claim your pair of pants. Just put them on blast.
Oh man. And then like another year at Fanime when what's his name? The guy who did I keep wanting to say Martia's successor Nabisco, but it's not Nabisco, it's Nadesco.
Nadesco, yeah.
Yeah, so like he came over to Fanime one year, and this is the time in Fanime where it was pretty much like how they could not figure out their queue line system. So it's like, oh, we're going to queue you in this room, and then we're going to queue up in this next room. So they were doing this like also like with the autograph room. So at the time, like it was like me waiting in line for an autograph. And it was me and these guys kind of like just talking to pass the time. And this guy, of course, like us going off about Berserk, and the guy is like, it's like, oh, he just does the volume. And then it's just like, he just, like F's off and just plays like, I don't master for a year or whatever, right?
A year or two.
Yeah, a year or two. So I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because my recollection's a little off. So this guy actually had a original copy of it was a promo video of a very old anime convention at the time. And like it was like, like how you had like the bunny girl like surfing on the sword. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't remember for the life of me right now.
There was a show?
No, it was like it was a what do you call it, like a promo video.
Oh.
It was like during like the very, very early days of Gainax, before Gainax became Gainax. Daikon. It was Daikon.
Okay.
Was like Daikon like 4, I think it was. Like like he had an original copy of that promo video. I think it was on Laserdisc. The copy he had, but it was like pretty much it was like that video where like it was like that promo video, and like this video was popularly known like because this was also like satired in a Takuna video where it's the bunny girl surfing on the sword.
Oh man. When you say that, all I think about is Fooly Cooly. I don't know why, but I just think of Fooly Cooly.
Yeah, that's like some like real vintage stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was like really crazy. And then like my times at Crunchyroll Expo, where you could just like wait in line, and then you just like like shoot the breeze with people in line, because it's pretty much everybody like like sharing the same passion with you as like either like just anime in general or the person you're waiting in line for. It's like, oh my god, it's like the original creator of Dragon Quest. Oh my god, it's like I'm just so excited, just geek out about it. It's like it was just so cool.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad that Crunchyroll exists now. They've been doing a lot of good. So sucks about last year, but I mean,
Yeah.
everything else that happened last year. So we'll see what happens this year and next year. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I unfortunately wasn't able to go to Crunchyroll back in 2019. I heard it was kind of interesting because like how they kind of did like this kind of like a otaku city type of theme.
Yes, Crunchyroll City. Yes.
Yeah, so like when you got your program, it was like a newspaper.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I still have mine somewhere around here. Yeah, Crunchyroll City.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see though. It's like as far as conventions going on this year, I personally would not really hold my breath on that because of like things still going on. I'd be surprised if people started like stuff around September, or they're just going to be like, you know what, we're just going to wait until 2022. So, but we'll see though, because like aside from like Fanime and Crunchyroll Expo, my big convention for me every year is California Extreme, which is the retro game and arcade expo that happens every summer.
Where's that at?
San Mateo, not San Mateo. I'm sorry, Santa Clara.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like for just the price of admission, you get to play all the games like on free play. So it's like pinball machines, arcade machines. So it's like arcade machines like back from the 80s or 90s. And also they do like little panels as well too. So it's like panels that show you how to play pinball. There was like a panel where they were showing people how to play skee ball. And they have like pinball tournaments, and of course like the vendors, and that's where I buy all my retro games. So it's like they'd have like vendors that would sell like retro games. I would spend all my money on that. Yeah, but that's also my big thing. Like outside of anime, it's just like going to CAX because it's just so much fun.
Yeah, every time I try to go to CAX, something always comes up, and so I end up missing it. But I do want to go. So, well, hopefully it comes back.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my story before I start going off on a tangent again. So,
well, we'll have to follow this up with a video game episode at some point then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's is that it for the flashback episode?
That's it for me.
The flashback arc. All right. All right. Well then, I guess we'll closing thoughts then, huh? So, Roman, what you got now in the epilogue?
Talking about all these older anime make me want to go back and watch some of them.
You know, and I've said this too. I don't like doing that. I don't know, for some odd reason. Unless it's going to be like background noise, I just don't go back and watch the old stuff because I have so much new stuff and current stuff. Especially with this season now, dude. What are we watching? Like 12, almost 15 shows, and now we just got the other one too with the Wonder Eggs. And now it's like, oh boy. So yeah, I just don't have time to go back and watch the old stuff. So I'd rather tell other people to go watch it, and then I just go watch the newer or more recent stuff I missed.
Yeah, but then I'm not watching it, which is what I want to do.
Yeah. So I don't know how you guys do it, man.
I don't.
Yeah. That answers that.
Yeah. When it was me and Belle doing the channel, it was how I was watching all the older stuff because she hadn't seen any of it.
Yeah.
So we would just watch it for the channel, and I'd get to rewatch all the shows that I used to watch. Like, let me see, we were doing School Rumble, which we didn't get to finish. We got to like halfway through season 2, and then she had to go and do something that lasted 5 years.
Got it.
That's an exaggeration, but it's been a while.
Sure.
But yeah, talking about all of it makes me want to go back. One that I've been kind of thinking about going back and watch because it's short was Gunsmith Cats.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find the manga for that, but it's
Raleigh
hard to
Vincent,
find.
right?
Yeah.
You know, don't be a Mimi. It's her name, right? Mimi was the other one?
The
bomb girl?
Bomb girl?
Yeah.
What's wrong with her?
Or is it May? I think it's May.
May? Okay. Yeah, don't, no. Only villains go for that.
It's like people like who go after like Seiko and Project Eiko. It's like, yeah, don't go for that. Only villains do that.
Come on, everyone knows Biko is the best. Oh, come on. Out of here. Get out of here. Now that you brought it up, that is the original Be Gone thought. Vanquishing Biko.
Eiko. Actually, you haven't watched that. Eiko? Project Eiko?
Project Eiko.
I need to watch that.
Ooh, that was another one on a Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah. Man. Boy,
Yeah, that and Armitage. Remember Armitage being on Sci-Fi as well.
I remember Armitage. I don't remember reading the reviews for Armitage, but I never actually saw it.
I remember I watched it when I was kind of young, so it was a little confusing for me. Yeah. I just remember a robot was able to have a kid, so.
So you're saying there's a way?
Yeah. I was like, how?
And immediately, though, Sachiel is all like, remember, Roman, don't fist androids. Roman hasn't played Nier Automata, so that's why.
Yeah.
I played it. I just haven't finished it.
Okay.
Like, I haven't even gotten through my first playthrough yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of games I need to play.
Yeah.
Got to go back to that, but I don't remember where I'm at or what I got to do. So
You
I'll probably have to start over again.
Start all over.
So yeah, it was fun looking back at all this, kind of remembering everything. That's my fun thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like when we were talking about this and what I messaged you guys is, you know, when I started, it was all about big titty anime bitches. And now in the modern day, still all about big titty anime bitches. You know, I was making that, I don't know if I made that joke or if it came across, but it's like, you know, every time Ash Ketchum tried to evolve me, I just hit B and canceled my evolution. So that's why I still am the way I am. Yeah. So, yeah. that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to say. You know, I feel my tastes haven't really evolved all that much. You know, started because of titties and ponzu and panty shots, and still am the same now with more ada, I guess. So, yay, anime 2021. Let's go.
Yeah, my tastes have definitely changed a lot.
Yeah.
Mine started from shonen. Then went to slice of life and comedy. Then went to isekai. And now I'm kind of where you're at.
Big titty bitches. I will say, though, Sachiel, I did remember this, like, on a whim, but my very first exposure to yaoi was actually a Dante and Virgil Devil May Cry 3 book.
Oh, my God.
Like, I had no idea that existed. Like, I had heard something about people trying to like ship the Gundam Wing boys back in the day, but it never really dawned on me or clicked on me. I just kind of ignored it, right? And I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. And then I was just kind of minding my own business, you know, on the webs, and then I saw it, and I was like, dear Madoka, they're brothers. What are you doing? What are you? And yeah,
right?
That just makes it better. You got to keep it in the Family Guy.
Oh. And that's now why my current stance is that all Fujoshis need to be in a single rocket and fired into the sun. Because it would have been one thing if, like, the first yaoi I encountered was something like Gundam Wing, the Gundam Wing boys, and it's like, okay, sure. I mean, it gets lonely in outer space. You know, they call it cockpits, right? But, you know, when your first exposure is Dante and Virgil, which have a very special place in my Kokoro, you've gone too far.
Apparently they have a special place in their Kokoros, too.
So yeah, so that's my closing thoughts. Now I'm definitely on big titty bitches and panty shots. Quote me on that. Put that on my epitaph.
And Astolfo.
Oh, that was great when you got that Nesselberry. That was amazing.
The Nesselberry in a jar.
Yeah.
In a jar?
Yeah. Because that was one of the memes. It was like, don't let the bean out of the jar, and it was the Astolfo bean. It was a cursed Astolfo.
Okay.
So they bought one of the Apocrypha Nessos, and it was the Astolfo one, and they put him in one of those, like, the $5 Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
So I guess pretty much my closing thoughts is it was really nice getting to reminisce about all the retro stuff and everything. I feel that was pretty fun. But as far as like retro stuff, like of course, like another like streaming thing, you know, among with the other streaming things that are going on. Well, there's a streaming service called Retro Crush. I think it's done by the same people who do Asian Crush. It's free with ads, but they have a pretty good selection of retro shows and stuff. So it's kind of like you know, if you want to watch like all like, you know, like the, I guess what you could call like vintage anime, I guess, like 80s and 90s or whatever.
Nice.
That's a good place to start. But
When you get a moment, post that in the Discord or on Facebook or something.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. But going back to the Fudoshi thing, because I just remembered this. So one of the visual novels that I play is a series called Hakioki, which touches on the Shinsengumi. So for Hakioki on the PS3, which is the Stories of Shinsengumi version,
Okay.
the platinum trophy is literally called Fudoshi. And I'm bringing this up because this is the first and only platinum trophy that I have.
Oh. Would you like a window or an aisle seat on this rocket? One way ticket, okay?
You might as well put me on the driver's seat, dude.
Okay, wow. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I apologize. I try my best to never apologize, but I feel like I offended you. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Sachiel over here, like, don't wreck me with these common Fujo bitches over here. Nah. I'm above that. Don't even know my power level. Oh man.
But it's like I said, like it's been fun, like reminiscing with you guys. And that's my closing thoughts.
Nice.
All right. Well, for me, Sachiel goes and gets a rocket from Elon Musk. All right then.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my Epa rocket.
He would probably lend you a rocket too.
Make sure you get all the Fujoshis, okay? Here's the keys.
He'd be like, I'll give you the rocket if you come back with materials for me to make cat girls.
Fujoshis to the sun for cat girls. I'll take that trade all day, every day. Let's go. Oh. All right, Roland, close us out.
All right. So yeah, next viewing party will be next week, Thursday, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Usual time. We're watching Madoka Magica Movie 3.
Yes.
Next podcast will be the week after that,
Yes.
Monday.
Yes.
We don't have a topic yet, but we'll come up with one.
Yes.
And yeah, go to my store.
Yeah,
Please.
go buy stuff.
Now that you can actually pre-order without having to worry about paying for it.
And get the right link. Make sure you have the right link.
Yeah, I'll post that in the description.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll see you all again next podcast episode. And I guess if you want to give your story on how you started with anime, go ahead and post that in the comments. Was it a friend? Did you just happen to find an anime on TV, or did you find a random DVD lying on the ground somewhere in the mall?
Or Rule 34. I know a couple people got started because of the hentai.
Yeah.
They found Rule 34 and they were like, oh, this actually has a story.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know in the comments. And we'll be sure to read them.
Yep.
So yeah, until the next time, I'm Roman.
Sano, Steven. Peace.
And this is Sachiel. See you next time.
Yep. Bye.